Hello and welcome everyone to another EMP tutorial of the query language. So this time what I want to show you is the crates command. So this one is used to basically group things into similar kind of ranges. It's also known in statistics, I think, as bin. Like putting things into similar bins. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the command is crates, or if you want to, there is alias for that one, which is called bin. And I will just open the manual to copy an example. So we have multiple types that we can use here. So we have number, alpha, and time. So in this case, we create crates by number. So if I execute this, then we will see we will put this into the new field range, and we get this range here, which is 11 to 15 in this case, and 0 to 5. So you see it goes by the number of steps, and it has a maximum number of groups. So as soon as a certain value is reached, in this case I think it's 45, and everything else will just be put into the range bigger equals 46. If we leave this away, we will have just as many groups as that are needed. Now, so this will it will keep the record. So we have 1000 records. We still have 1000 records. It basically just adds another field with the range. What we can do now is, and this is what it's most commonly used for, is to create statistics based on this kind of ranges by range. And then let's say we want to have a count, and you see we just have 10 groups and get a count for each group. Another thing that you can do with this one is you can, for the step, you can define a multiplier. So if you have bigger ranges, let me start, for example, with 2. We don't limit this one, and we make a multiplier equals 2. So what this one does is every group will get doubled in size. So the first group will go from 0 to 2, 0, 2. The next one will go from 3 to 4, then from 5 to 8. So we have 4, a step of 4. The next step is a step of 8, step of 16, step of 32, and so on. This multiplier you can also put here by 3, so you have even less groups. This can be useful if you want to check how do certain things change depending on amounts. For example, we use that in performance testing when we load a list, a page that contains a list. And depending on how much data has to be loaded, like 10 or like 10 in the list, or 100 in the list, or 1000 in the list, we want to know like what is the average time it needs to load in that specific range. And we don't want to have like 100 groups, because it will be very, very hard to evaluate. We only want to have a few groups. And for that we use these kinds of exponential ranges. Good. So this is like one way how you can use this command. Now another way, which I showed you this one. This one is one of these examples with a multiplier. So here we have very, very big crates. Because the numbers that we are working with are very big and have a lot of range. And with this multiplier, we just reduce the amount of groups a lot. Good. So this is one example of how to use this multiplier. Now let's go to the next one. Exactly. So the alpha, this one basically also creates crates, but it will create it based on the ABC. So this one, it goes on to the first name. First name starts with A, so it will put it in the crate A to C. We can change the step value here to 5, so we have 5, a range of 5, so it will be A to E. Rarely used, can be useful at some times. Let me take the next one, time. So this one is used often for graphics, so for doing charting, to reduce the number of data points. And you also can calculate and create statistics based on time ranges. So this one can be very useful if you want to have data, for example, a whole day of data, statistics broken down, aggregated for that specific day. So in this case, we have used 1 hour and 1 hour of data, and the step is 5 minutes. So we have the crate 14:15. The earliest time in this crate, the latest time in this crate, and the number of data points that are in this specific time range. Now let's make an example. Let's say we want to have a whole month, and here we can say we want to have the whole thing based on a day. So the 1000 records are broken down to 31 days. So, and here we have then the data per day. I think I have a graph as well in the examples. Let me see. This one should be the graph. Exactly. So, with graphs, you can have the issue that you, let's say we do a step for 1 and time unit is second. All these things you actually find here in the parameter description, what you can put here. And let me comment this one out. The unsupported argument, time O unit. Let's take just time unit. Good. So now we have like 3000 records, and this graph is basically unreadable, right? So if we go here down to 5 minutes, then it gets readable because we have a step of 1 second. So for 5 minutes, that's a maximum number of data points of 300. So this should be about 300 data points. And now this is the thing, like if you define 5 minutes, it might look good if you select here up to, So let's see, here we have now one data point, and if we select 24 hours, this is still readable, but when we say last 7 days, it's unreadable. So how do we do that? We just auto-calculate it. We use the interval and interval unit function, and this one will just, depending on what you select here, the time range that you selected here, will calculate what would be the step and what would be the time unit to get here a still readable graph. So if I use 5 minutes, it's still readable. If I use 12 hours, it's readable. If I use 1 month, it's also readable. So this is how you can use the creates command to adjust your graphs to always be readable, regardless of what kind of time unit you are using. Yeah, so basically that's it for the creates command. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I wish you a lot of fun grouping your data into similar ranges and put that on a dashboard and throw it at your users so they can have a lot of fun with it.